are listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. All right, so I've been gleaning a couple of tips from Muggle friends. Don't you love when we do that? And sometimes they show us what not to do. So I had 3 friends, not 3 in a row, but in a fairly short period of time, I watched 3 guys who all experienced involuntary unemployment. They all 3 lost their jobs for one reason or another. I think one guy, he was at odds with the supervisor, and the supervisor was successful in getting him fired. Another guy lost his job. Oh, yeah, he worked in the airline industry, and COVID hit. There were layoffs. He was one of them. Then another guy lost his job. Oh, he said it was performance issues, or his attitude had deteriorated. He was going through personal challenges. Anyway, they let him go. So here's 3 guys who lost good jobs. And when I say good jobs, I mean jobs that they trained for, that they invested in, that they expected to keep. I don't mean good jobs in that they were living their dreams, all right? In fact, all 3 of those guys complained about their jobs before they lost them. It wasn't until they lost them that they really wanted those jobs. That's a different LOA lesson. That's not what the point I was wanting to make with their stories. But anyway, over these different time periods, I'm watching this happen with a couple of, some of them I was closer to than others, but I saw the same process unfold where they lost a job and it threw them for a loop. Like, they freaked out. Like, each of these guys, once they found themselves unemployed, guess what they did? They stressed out. They worried. They wondered what they did wrong or what went wrong. They worried what else might go wrong now that they didn't have any paycheck rolling in. And they kind of got a little obsessive about, and I don't blame them. I mean, it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing, especially if you haven't done it before. So I'm not saying that it's easy to be unemployed and we should all skip through it. I'm not. I don't want to downplay or minimize the challenge that it can be to be without work. Not just because we don't have the paycheck, but it can, I was going to say especially men. Maybe it isn't just especially men, but it seems like they especially lose themselves when they lose their jobs. Okay, maybe that's not fair to say, but I get that it's a hard thing to lose your job. I do. But here's what else I get. After watching 3 guys in a row, almost in a row, do this routine, I know what's going to happen. I know what comes after this. It's another job. Not to be spoiler alert, everyone, but you're going to get another job after this. It's just a matter of time. Sooner or later, you're going to be working again. I've seen it happen enough times now to know that when someone loses their job, I know what comes next. A new job. That's what happens. Maybe not immediately, especially not when you're in freak out mode, but a new job is coming. It's what they do. I've seen it happen enough times. And maybe it isn't even a new job. Maybe it's new work. It doesn't have to be a job, but maybe it could be a different form of work. But I do know this for sure. It's coming. It's what it does. But they don't know that because they're each doing it for the first time. And they're swimming in it scared. Like, I feel for them for what they had to experience. I mean, some of them, they had some guilt. They felt rejected. They felt worthless. And they felt scared. It was some hard things that they were feeling. But that's to be expected, I guess. I don't know. Maybe we can expect more. But it was their first time being unemployed. And so they were rookies. They didn't know how it turns out. I, though, do. I've seen it enough times to know what's going to happen next. You're going to get another job. So, in the meantime, why not? Let's make the most of this time where you don't have one. Let's enjoy your break. Let's use it as a chance to do something fun. Okay, when I was thinking of something fun, I was mostly thinking of things you could help me with around my house. Like shake yourself out of it. Come on up here. We got some trees to plant. We got some yard work to do. We got some ceilings to paint. Okay. I'm cracking myself up. But really, I'm like, why not enjoy your break? Like, you don't have to just devote all your extra time to making my life better, but why not use it as a chance to get back to good vibrations, to do whatever you wanted to do back when you used to blame your job for not having the time to do what you wanted, like reseal your garage floor, or maybe get back on your mountain bike, or spend more time with your kids, or get back in shape, or hello, maybe even hang out with a super hot chick who's super fun to hang out with. Maybe. But no, that's not what they did. They ruined almost every day of their unemployment by just being worried that this is what it was going to be for them and just freaking out about the whole thing. They couldn't enjoy a day off. It seemed to me they couldn't. Hello, and I'm offering good coaching, unsolicited coaching, to maybe enjoy yourself a little, maybe, because it's not always going to be like this, but they didn't know that. So they were worried. They didn't know how to not worry about it. They didn't think of it as this temporary, enjoyable respite from their working world. They saw it as the beginning of the end, all their worst fears coming true. They didn't know how to enjoy in the meantime. They didn't know how to trust that this was going to work out, let alone work out even better. Oh my gosh. They didn't know that enjoying themselves right here, right now, however they could, would actually facilitate something amazing happening. They didn't realize that stressing about their situation, what was keeping it from resolving, as well as it wanted to resolve. I'm not going to say I tried really hard to help them see that, but yeah, they couldn't hear me. So, despite the fact that I know so much and have all the answers, I just let them do their routine, because what else are you going to do? Can't resist it. So I watched them do their job search and their networking and retraining and interviewing and despairing. And I watched them get unemployment benefits and stimulus checks and spend savings to keep themselves afloat. I watched them get efficient about how they spent their current money, like let me buy everything, and sell their giant homes and rent an apartment instead, and sell their extra vehicles or their expensive toys, and sometimes get help from loved ones. But that's what I saw. It just kept working out. One way or another, things kept working out. And that might not be the way they tell their own stories, but that's sure what it looked like from my perspective. It just keeps working out over and over and over again. That's what it kept doing for them. And all they did was they missed a chance to enjoy their time off. All right, so here's why I'm telling this story about missed opportunities during their unemployment. Because instead of trusting that something even better was in the works, and instead of being able to make the most of their downtime, in fact, they could have had it be uptime instead of downtime. Anyway, instead of fully enjoying themselves and their time off and making the most of it, they spent their time stressing out, trying to control, worrying that the worst was happening. Which I'll agree, okay, the first time I saw it happen for someone, it was easy for me to be a little worried too. But by the third go-around, I was like, I can't even worry about this with you because I know how it ends. You're going to get a new job. It's maybe a couple weeks, maybe it's a couple months. I've just seen it happen too many times. And I'm a quick learner, so I know how it goes. I thought they should be enjoying their time off while they could, but no one did. And as I saw the ridiculousness of their routines, I realized I do this too. Sometimes I do that same ridiculous thing. Sometimes when something big and scary is unfolding, I don't trust that it's going to have a good ending. And I spend my time worrying about it, trying to control it, instead of trusting that even better is in the works, instead of enjoying this in the meantime. I had a couple examples of it too. I can't remember what it was that first made me realize, oh, Jeanette, you're doing what they're doing. But it happened again recently when Tuna was sick. She's my new senior cat now. Look, that's probably not the best role for me to assign to someone in the household. It has good things, but to think of someone as the senior cat, and that means she gets extra special attention from me. And that's not always the best attention, because sometimes I'm looking to make sure she's got a good appetite, that she's not drinking too much, that she doesn't need dental attention, that she's not losing weight or becoming lethargic, all the things that signal something bad for a senior cat. I'm like, giving her extra attention. Some of it is positive attention, though. I don't let anyone mess with her. Like, when she's in the best spot and some other cat thinks he should be in her spot, oh, no. Luna gets what she wants. So sometimes it is good to have that spot in the household, but I probably need to call her some matriarch. Maybe that's a better word instead of my senior cat. I don't know. Anyway, when Luna was sick, I was thinking about how she had stopped eating and she had lost some weight and she wasn't coming around. Like, she used to sleep with me almost every night, and she wasn't doing that. She was sleeping somewhere else, and I started to worry about her, and I was kind of on pins and needles until I got that resolved. I was waiting for the vet to tell me it was okay. I was waiting for her to get back to good before I relaxed, instead of enjoying every single day I have with that girl. I mean, especially if here I am, the fear that I wouldn't admit to myself out loud that we were looking at last days with her after I just recently had this happen with 2 other cats. I was not down with it. And I was spoiling it. I was spoiling my time with her the same way I watched those guys spoil their time off. Those guys should have been hiking with me and Harvey and going to get shakes with me afterwards. We could have been having fun together. Or if you don't even want to have fun with me, just go have fun. You get time off now. Let's make the most of it. Okay, it's easy for me to say when I saw it in them, but here it is with me looking at Luna, and I wasn't making the most of it. I wasn't enjoying this in the meantime. Like, in the meantime, either she's going to get better or she's going to die. And I wasn't enjoying it. But anyway, I could see myself doing the very same thing. I wasn't embracing these moments, these gifted moments. Oh, we're just trying to wait till the happy ending unfolds before we relax. Okay, Luna's story, that might not be the best example of the point that I'm trying to make here. Let me try a different one. So, let's say, hypothetically, you've got a respite in your dating life. I like the languaging of that. Respite between men. That feels a lot better than the way some of my clients talk about their situation, their relationship situation, or lack of a relationship situation. It's kind of like the way my dad talked about unemployment. He did not ever use that word that I recall. The way he talked about it was he was in between jobs. And if anyone said anything, if they said about, he would correct them, in between jobs. That was so many years ago. And he knew that. And it did happen regularly in his world. He was a boilermaker who worked for the union, and that's just how it worked. Jobs would come, they would last a while, and then they would go, and there would be this space in between them where he could get caught up on all the things my mom had been putting on a honey-do list for when he had time off until he got the next job, and that's how it went over and over and over again. But that's how he talked about it, in between jobs. Not looking for work, not unemployed, just staying busy until the next call came in for the next job. So, say you are in between men. Okay, there's a couple different ways to think about that. We'll say respite between men or love interests, spouses, whatever. Say you're not entertaining any love interests currently and you want to be. Instead of sweating it that it's going to be like this forever, instead of fearing that maybe your time for love has passed, instead of doing that woe is me routine, imagining that you're going to be alone forever. Oh my gosh. And let's face it, alone forever is some people's idea of a dream come true. It's just worth noting. We all have different dreams and desires. Anyway, say someone who that wasn't what they really wanted. Instead of worrying that you're never going to have love again or ever, you could just instead make the most of this time. Make the most of it. Make the most of this time where you're single. Oh, that's because you're not going to be single forever. Unless you're really lucky, I just thought. Unless you're really lucky. I know how to enjoy single. I really do. Yeah. So it's easy for me to see how it would be smart of us to enjoy every precious day alone that we can. Every time we get to watch what we want to watch instead of we got to watch what someone else wants to watch too. Or every time we get to play the music when we want, what we want, as loud as we want. Or every time we get to turn the music off because we want some silence. Or every time we get to enjoy a sunset without someone talking through it about their stupid day at work. Ooh, right? Every time we get to have it just be Harvey and Luna and Fairy Kitty and maybe Merlin. And if we're lucky, Don Diego in bed without someone grumbling that he can't move. Every time we get to flirt with the stranger because we can. Every time we get to do all the things we wouldn't normally get to do if we were in a relationship or if someone else was here with us, I say we make the most of that time because change is coming. It is. Another example, like maybe when I'm thinking about I don't know, something business related, like making a new offer to my people. And I'm wondering, how's that going to work? And what do I need to do in order to structure it well? And what technology would make it easier? And how do I actually talk about this? And pretty soon I'm starting to feel a little angst building up, right? I can feel a little tension developing because I'm not sure I'm doing it right. And I don't want to blow it. I don't want to get it wrong. And there I am, just like my unemployed friends, blowing this chance to love what is right here and now, because the same way they were hung up on getting through this in-between time, they just want to get back to that safe spot they recognize. They just want to be back in, they don't know how to be in this limbo. Limbo isn't the right word for it. If we're doing it as limbo, we're doing it wrong. But I've done that too. I've been in the business limbo where I'm waiting for it to come together, waiting for it to work, waiting for people to tell me how much they like it before I practice that enjoyment. I'm doing that exact same routine when I'm thinking, I got to do all these things right so it turns out well, instead of trusting and knowing that of course it's turning out well because that's what it does over and over and over again. I've done it enough times to know that's what it does. It keeps turning out. How could I ever doubt that when I've seen it happen so many times in my own life, in my own business, over and over and over again? It just keeps working out, and usually even better. In fact, if I don't see how it's gotten even better, I'm not seeing it right, because that's all it does. I even did it this morning when I was thinking about how, okay, so next week I got there's this technological thing that's happening in my house, which is my office. That's my connection to the world. And I've been entertaining 2 ideas about how things could go wrong. And I noticed that I'm turning those ideas over and over, like how, okay, that might happen and this other thing might happen. And I'm imagining the ways that it could go wrong instead of realizing that it can't go wrong. This is going to be fun. Even if I ended up disconnected from the world for 24 hours, even if I didn't have a functioning office, guess what? It's a blessing. I could treat it like that, not in limbo, not wait on pins and needles until it gets resolved. I could use it as a chance to remember to not be so dependent on the internet and phone and texts and TV and everything else. And even if it were like 48 hours, that would be even better. Of course, there's nothing to sweat here, is what I want to remind myself, because it's more than likely going to be a super smooth event, and more than likely I'm going to wish that I'd done this a long time ago, because it's going to be even better than it was before. I made these changes in the technology setup. But that's my reminder to remember that, to know that this has a happy ending before the happy ending is here. Like to feel that confidence and that relaxed enjoyment of someone who knows that it's turning out well. No matter what happens, it's turning out well. Because we can say so. We're conscious creators like that. To be able to enjoy where we're at right here now. You know what? That is not what I did. That is not what I did with my business. When I was building it in the beginning, I did not have that. I missed out on the whole. I think every process can be enjoyed. Every part of the process can be enjoyed. And I did not enjoy the beginning because I was waiting for results in order to relax. I was nervous that it wasn't going to work. I entertained a lot of gremlins about it in the early days, and I missed out on that chance to enjoy the beginning, to enjoy that part that's glorious, that's exhilarating, those exciting days of building something new for the first time. It could have been amazing, but I did it in a sweat. I did it with gremlin fears by my side. And yes, I did my best to manage those, but oh my gosh, I could have enjoyed it so much more if I had skipped with joy through that process instead of crawling fearfully through it. I mean, how cool if I'd have solidly known that only good things were coming, because that's how it keeps happening. Even when it's disguised as contrast, I know that even that is good, because that's how life gets even better. So even when it looks like trouble is afoot, something really good is cooking. I know that. I know that now. And remembering that helps take the edge off. So we just don't struggle as much as we sometimes do. I think it's worth knowing that this has a happy ending before the happy ending arrives. And to just know that, well, or at least choose, okay? At least be willing to choose. Maybe I don't want to be the girl who forgot to enjoy being single, or what's more likely for me to be the girl who forgot to enjoy being in a committed relationship. I don't want to be the one. I don't want to be the one who misses out on the potential fun, the potential satisfaction, the potential enjoyment, because I was waiting for the results, for something good to happen in order to enjoy it. We know this, that every one of us is going to get another chance to enjoy in the meantime and to revel in the days before the dream comes true, because that's what life does. It just keeps evolving. And that's part of the reason it's so fun to be here. I mean, not to spoil the ending for you, but it does. It just keeps getting better and better. Over and over, that's all it does. So the next time you realize you're in some unwanted space where gremlins are kicking up some fears, maybe don't resist that. Maybe don't fear it. I know we got to feel those feelings. So, yeah, I mean, whatever's up, it's not wrong. Don't judge yourself for it, but feel it out. And then remind yourself that it's gonna be good. The next job is coming. The next lover is coming. The next positive development, whatever it is that you're hoping for, it's coming. So we can enjoy where we're at right here and right now. Being able to embrace it like we picked it, I know that's a master skill. But let's at least do it like we know it's got an expiration date. And when I say let's do it, I mean the thing that you might otherwise be experiencing as contrast or unwanted or not good. We could do it different. If anyone can, it's us. And when we do that, I think we're making the most of the gift that we each got of being here now in these lives. I think just every glorious moment, it has that potential. It has glorious in it if we choose it. And when we get really good at choosing it, it just gets even more glorious. Isn't it cool how that works? All right, this is my long, rambling way of saying, let's stop spoiling our mean times, thinking that we've got to have a positive end result secured and in the bag before we can relax. And instead, let's enjoy it now, whatever it is, however we can, while it lasts. And you know what's so cool about that routine? When we learn to love it now, however it is, whatever it is, we don't need it to be different so much. We're not on pins and needles for something good to happen because we're experiencing it as good right now. And when we're not so anxious to get to the other side, whether it's the job offer or the new lovers introducing themselves or whatever it is, when all the other even better things, before they even start happening, because we don't need them to, that's what allows them to. Even better, even faster, even more enjoyable, even smoother. I mean, enjoying the now, that's what allows it to get even better. And more than anything, though, I just feel like it's remiss. I know contrast is appropriate. Step one is essential. I know it. But when we're in our right minds and we have a chance to choose, let's not miss a single chance to love up on life. I say that, and I feel it right now. I feel the truth of it. And probably before this day is done, I'm going to do it the Muggle way again. But I'm going to catch myself in that routine sooner than later. And I'm going to be able to make a conscious decision about what I would rather feel, what I would rather do, who I would rather be. All right. I hope you got something good from tuning into this one. Here's to everyone who's in the game and having fun with it. Rock on with your bad self, and thanks for letting me into your world. Bye, everyone.